Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR today. It's finally Wednesday. It's June 23rd, 2021. The man they call Meathead, the soda poppin' Matthew Thomas, is in the house. Good morning, Matthew. Glad to hear that you're popping sodas in the morning.
You heard that, huh?
Oh. Well, I mean, you could tell us that you're having a V8. I mean, that might be what the pop was.
Yeah, no, I actually like to eat my tomatoes. Here's the interest. I was not a big tomato fan previously, but tomatoes have really grown on me. So when I do consume
it's because we keep leaving seed all over you.
So when I do consume a tomato, I prefer to eat it, whole and actually savor and enjoy the texture of a tomato as opposed to just drink it.
I had a whole bunch more, but we are not going to go there. Let's talk about who the sponsor is today. Get that sponsor in there before we start taking this show off the rails.
Well, the main reason that I eat my tomatoes shirtless is because I don't want to ruin my collar and elbow gear by spilling tomato remnants on it. But here's the thing: if you are eating something and you do get it on your tomato and your collar and elbow shirt, and it leaves a stain on your collar and elbow shirt, you can always head on over to collarandelbowbrand.com and enter promo code Linda K, LINDAKAY, and save 10% to help replace your soiled collar and elbow gear.
All right, so that's good to hear. I've got stuff in my cart right now, actually, that I've been looking at. I'm pretty picky about my collar and elbow brand. I noticed that I'm a big Good Brothers, subscriber. I've got a lot of Good Brothers gear. It's Good Brothers summer.
It is. The Good Brothers, not to be confused with the Briscoe Brothers, who has that body shop in Florida.
At a body shop, Briscoe Brothers Auto Body. Yep. Mm-hmm. All right, we got a couple things I'm going to talk about before we get into NXT. First off, kind of sad news. Coming up as a kid, and when I was a kid, it was way back in the day when color TV was just coming around. But one of the guys I really enjoyed watching was Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff. The big robes, the jacked persona. He was in the main event of WrestleMania 1. There is Paul Orndorff's health is not in the greatest of shape. There is pictures out there right now of Paul Orndorff either in a hospital or in a nursing home of some sort or a care home. He is a shell of the former Paul Orndorff, and it's very sad to see. The story really is coming from his son. It says that Paul Orndorff's dementia that he has now is a result of CTE. Now, again, you can't diagnose CTE until after the person has passed because they do, surgery and they do, studies on the brain. But he believes that his constant, headshots throughout his wrestling career is the main trigger to his dementia.
Yeah, no, it's certainly a shame. And I mean, it's a brutal grind that takes a toll on the body. And, the more that you're learning about, and I mean, I still think we're just in the infancy of CTE. I mean, the ability to even diagnose it is not there yet. It's not there until, after death. But yeah, I mean, that and other physical sports where you do have a lot of, head contact with, be it other heads or chairs or, potential consistent head and brain injury right there. You're really seeing it, unfortunately, take its toll on a lot of people.
Very sad story. Again, I wish the family of Paul Orndorff and Paul himself, of course, I wish nothing but just better health and peace and, in this trying time, because, I mean, there's really probably no coming back from it. So I just hope the family is able to, get as much time with Paul as they can. I want to take us in a different direction here. I want to talk about the big case from last year. Remember, Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose were having such a great feud over on SmackDown. Yeah. And then out of nowhere, this story comes up that Sonya Deville was being stalked on Twitter, and the man finally made it to Sonya Deville's house. Literally made it to his house, or made it to her house, and says that nobody will ever have you but me. Well, there's an update on the case. Philip Thomas, who's committed to Florida's Department of Children Families, that's a weird place for him to be. I don't know how old Philip Thomas was, but he has been ruled incompetent to stand criminal trial based on the results of a court-ordered medical examination. For a layman's terms, that means he's BS crazy. So
are we sure this guy's last name is Thomas?
Yes, no relation to Matthew Thomas.
Maybe it's pronounced different. Maybe it's Tomas.
Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. Well, the H in there would kill that theory.
Just saying.
So, Unfortunately, Deville saw Thomas and fled the home with WWE performer Mandy Rose, who was staying at her home calling 911. So Mandy, obviously that killed the feud as well, but Mandy was at the house as well. They called 911, and so happy to see that Sonya was okay. I mean, we talked about this last year, that Sonya was okay. Everything was good with her. Nothing happened to her. And this man is hopefully behind bars as long as possible because he's not competent to be outside amongst the world. Ruled that he was incompetent to stand trial. So, Matthew, thoughts?
I guess really what jumps out at me is it's concerning that the fact that this guy is that out there, not competent to stand trial, but he's competent enough to utilize the technology that we have to be able to get to somebody's home. And that's scary and that's concerning.
Well, again, Sonya Deville may come back to start wrestling soon too. So we have seen Sonya Deville on TV being the foil in cases against Scrap Daddy Adam Pearce. Let's talk about NXT from last night. Matthew, you've seen it. You watched the show, correct?
That is correct.
We were getting told we were going to get the Diamond Mine. What were your thoughts before we watched NXT? What the Diamond Mine was? Did you think it was DDP? Because that's literally what I thought it would be.
I didn't know, man. I really had no idea.
Okay. Didn't they use the Diamond Mine back in WCW days?
It sounds familiar, doesn't it? Like it sounds like we've seen it before.
I feel like that's what DDP called his stuff back in WCW. It was the Diamond Exchange in WCW. Thank you, Google. But he had, who's the most famous member of that whole group, the Diamond Stud, which is now known as
Hulk Hogan.
No. Come on, who was the Diamond Stud?
Oh man,
I'll give you a chance. I mean, this one I don't have to Google. I know exactly who it is, and I'll give you one hint. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hey yo.
Oh, really?
Big Scott Hall had come from AWA, made it into WCW, and he was the Diamond Stud before heading on over to WWF to become Razor Ramon, then coming back to WCW as Scott Hall, Diamond Stud. That's when Scott Hall Scott Hall was always a great wrestler, but he was a body guy for the longest time too. I mean, you talk about certain wrestlers that, come in with the look, but how long is your body going to last, right? Yeah. Then you got guys that are wrestlers that the body isn't as important to their gimmick. Scott Hall kept a good body for the longest time when it came to his wrestling career. All right, so last night we were going to get the debut of Diamond Mine, but the show opens up with Adam Cole saying that he's going to pick his opponent. Well, his opponent picked himself for Adam Cole and used ruthless aggression. Carmelo Hayes came out, got in the face of Adam Cole, baby, and said that he's going to have his match. Now, of course, Adam Cole won this match, but Carmelo Hayes looked solid last night.
I thought Carmelo was on SmackDown.
Carmelo, not Carmela. It's like Espanol. The males are O's, the females are A's.
I got you. No, it was an interesting way to kick off the show. And, he really held his own against Adam Cole. I did not think we were going to see an impromptu Adam Cole loss here, and we did. He managed to pull it out, but a very impressive showing by Carmelo.
What?
I said he pulled it out, not
a victory.
Not slip in. That's a convenience store.
Yeah, that's a convenience store. I don't know how convenient that is, especially if there's other people around. But what this match is doing is hyping us towards Cole O'Reilly 2, which will be at the Great American Bash on NXT in a couple weeks. Now, Frankie Monet backstage with Aaliyah and Jesse Camilla, also Robert Stone brand. Is there a chance with this familiarity here, from Impact and now, together in NXT, could Robert Stone brand maybe bring on Frankie Monet?
I would not mind it. I would like to see Robert Stone brand prominently featured. I'll tell you what was prominently featured was his suit. Man, I really like that.
What was that suit with the chest straps?
Yeah, that was an interesting cut. I've got a wedding coming up here in the next couple of months, man, and I've been needing some attire, and I think I might go in that direction.
All right. Well, Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory out in the ring. I thought this was going to be the end of the way for the night, but it wasn't. Your thoughts on Gargano and Theory really talking about carrying Cross? I mean, Gargano's still heading towards Cross.
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense. And really, you've got to look at your roster of people to feed the Cross. I think Cross has got a pretty substantial title run ahead of him. That's why I picked him as part of Nelson Mandela. I wouldn't have picked him otherwise. But yeah, you gotta have people to put in programs with him, and it looks like they're going that direction.
Gargano and Theory head into the office of William Regal, and what they end up getting is a tag team match against Dunn and Lorcan. Now, Io Shirai and Zoe Stark taking on Aaliyah and Jessie Camilla. This is Io Shirai's first match since TakeOver Night 1. Remember, that was what was leading up to WrestleMania. So we have not seen Io Shirai compete. The winners, of course, Io Shirai and Zoe Stark. A pull apart at the end. This time, again, it's because it's the female competitors. Joe's not putting people asleep, but he is escorting everybody around the ring and getting them all, trolled. A bunch of different tag teams coming out. You can see where this is going, and it's going to lead to next week a 3-way tag match for the chance to be number 1 contender for the NXT Women's Championships.
And it was a really good feature of the NXT Women's Tag Team divisions. It did not dawn on me until I saw everybody in the ring. They've got a pretty substantial Women's Tag Team division right now. Yeah. And it really gave a nice.
And your champions were there too. The Ways, Candice LeRae, and Indy Hartwell.
Yeah, so it gave you a nice visual on that. So overall, a really good segment, and really, put at the forefront there what they're working with the women's division.
Matthew, I have a question for you. Mm-hmm. The battery indicator. Do you have any idea? Do you want to take a shot at it? Make a joke, make a real prediction. The battery indicator keeps charging up.
What percentage were we at last night?
We moved a couple times. I thought we made it up to 41%.
Battery. Man, I got no idea.
Okay. You're supposed to, I don't know if you've ever watched Celebrity Hollywood Squares or whatever it's called. You're supposed to do the joke answer first, then the real answer.
Oh yeah. So it's leading up to Chris Jericho making his return to NXT. And then
Jericho's AEW for a long time. I'm telling you, Jericho loves being in AEW. He's not coming to NXT.
Yeah, battery. I mean, it's a very high likelihood it's somebody that's, never been on our radar. So,
okay, and he doesn't have a full battery yet. So, I mean, tag match between The Way, Gargano and Theory taking on Oney Lorcan and Pete Dunne. Actually, The Way with the victory. A one final beat to Lorcan for the pin to win by Gargano.
I mean, I think this is an attempt to make Gargano look strong to getting ready for your champion.
41% that battery was. They were at two different vignettes. I think it went from 39 to 40 and 40 to 41. So 41%. Here we are. It's moving. Next week, Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart versus Zoe Stark and Io Shirai versus Dakota Kai and the NXT Women's Champion Raquel Gonzalez. The winners will be the number 1 contenders for the Women's Tag Team Champions. The Way at the Great American Bash. Elektra Lopez taking on the Encore debut. The Encore, what were we calling this? We were calling this the Encore.
This would be the sophomore match.
The Encore premiere, the sophomore match of Frankie Monet. Frankie Monet with that jacket. By the way, I want to side segue off of this. How much does her ring gear look like it weighs?
57 pounds.
Right, 57 pounds is good. It's probably still lighter than Ric Flair's robes. Have you seen any of A&E's Treasures, the Ric Flair episode?
Not the Ric Flair episodes. I was watching.
Smokes! You need to see this episode.
I was watching sad wrestling stuff.
So that was tough too. We could talk about the China stuff, and we'll get to that. But I was watching a happier one. But the Ric Flair one isn't all happy stories either, because you've seen the Andre the Giant one, right? Of Treasures.
Yep.
I mean, it wasn't Sonny Ono trying to work people, but it's still people trying to work people. So
Yeah.
we'll get that in the books and we'll talk about it. Maybe
Well,
we'll talk about it on
you got
Friday.
to stop and think too, man. Like you're getting into Flair stuff. You're getting into monetarily. I mean, you're getting into monetarily the stuff associated with Flair or not. You've got some expensive garments, and then outside of that,
they were all custom made.
Yeah, you've got somebody who is more or less on everybody's Mount Rushmore professional wrestling. So I got a feeling you're dealing with some serious money and and various motivations.
Yeah, and the reason I'm talking about that, and we're going to come back around to him again, Top Dollar, otherwise known as AJ Francis, has been the star of A&E's documentary, The Treasures. So we'll get to that again. But Ric Flair robes, wow, unbelievable. Let's talk about Elektra Lopez and Frankie Monet. I still am waiting for the day where that dog poops somewhere where they have to clean it up.
Yeah, you got to play the odds, man. It's got to happen.
It's got to happen. Backstage, Mackenzie Mitchell interviewing the NXT North American Champion Bronson Reed, and here comes Hit Row. I absolutely love Hit Row. I think this is a grouping, a pairing, a stable, a family, a faction, whatever you're calling it. This is a top faction NXT for the next year to 2 years.
And it's original. It's one of those factions you don't look at and say, oh, they're trying to rip off another faction, or they're taking notes from Faction 101. They feel comfortable, they feel established, it feels young, and it feels fresh.
I mean, it's a play on pop culture, Death Row, but they're Hit Row, right? Yep. I absolutely love it. And again, Top Dollar is AJ Francis. To see this loving, caring, lighthearted guy on the A&E documentary for Treasures be this other character on NXT, and just be this aggressive monster. Because you got to remember, too, AJ Francis played in the NFL. I mean, he finished in football, and now he's in wrestling. So it's not like this guy's a featherweight. This guy he's used to contact his entire life.
Yeah, without a doubt. No, they look good, and it's one of the best things going in NXT right now.
I think so. It was kind of funny. They kind of punked out, honestly. Bronson Reed goes, "Sucker, you're not even from North America." I thought it was funny. And then they go to a clip earlier in the day of Everrise trying to spray paint Top Dollar's SUV, but Top Dollar catches him. He goes, "Hey, dummy, I can tell who you are. Your names are on your shirts." I don't like Everrise. I'm sorry. I don't like the characters. The guys are probably good workers. I don't like the characters. I really think this is a poor man's ripoff of the Young Bucks.
Yeah, no, it's a little too buckish for me, and the Bucks still kind of rub me the wrong way, and not necessarily in a good wrong way, but a kind of confused wrong way. And I don't know that I want the Bucks really emulate it right now.
No, but we'll move on from that. Everrise had a match against Hit Row, and Hit Row dominated, as they should have. And again, AJ Francis, Top Dollar, looks amazing. Your thoughts on the match? Oh, by the way, there was one more. The battery charger went from 50 to 51.
So the battery charger is probably going to get fully charged by the Great American Bash, wouldn't you guess?
I would assume so. I mean, are they using the rapid charge one that came with the phone, or are they buying one off of Amazon?
It's a very good question. Or is it an older phone and the battery, we're going to see the battery. You know what, man, what I'd really love to see is we get like 75, 80%, and then it goes back down. We got a battery that's losing charge. Oh, I would love that.
Is that the charger you bought from the In-N-Out or the Slip and Slide or whatever you call it?
The Slip-In. Yeah. You know what? Here's the funny thing is you say that I literally have purchased a battery charger from the Slip-In. That's not a joke. That is a literal thing that happened once in my life. I didn't have my battery charger, and I'm at the Slip-In, and I'm like, you know what? I need to slip in here and get a battery charger that I can slip into my cigarette lighter in my car and charge my phone. That's a thing.
Yeah, you could drive 2 hours and it's still not fully charged.
That's a thing. That's a thing that happened. Oh yeah. But no, I'd like to see him go in that direction with the van.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Let's talk about the main event. It was Kushida and Kyle O'Reilly. Now, they were calling this a dream match, and you know what? It was a great match. the winner, Kyle O'Reilly. They basically hug at the end, sitting down on the ground. But here comes Adam Cole, baby, to go after Kyle O'Reilly. But here's the real story. The Diamond Mine showed up, and it's led by Roderick Strong from Undisputed Era. His back, haircut. He's got Tyler Rust with him, and he's also got Hideki Suzuki. That's the Diamond Mine, led by Malcolm Bivens.
I liked it, and I liked the main event and the fact that you've got two very evenly matched, guys right there, and you couldn't really necessarily tell what direction the match was going to go in. And Raleigh picking up the win, keeping him strong for Adam Cole here in a couple of weeks. But a very big newsworthy moment to close NXT.
So that is NXT for last night. I thought it was a solid show. Hey, you know what we didn't talk about that happened on Monday night? I know it's Wednesday morning now, but we got to talk about the kid that wears the fanny pack.
The kid who is in that hot feud with Shawn Spears, man.
There's some heat there.
Getting some offense in on Elevation, and here really being put over by the commentary team, Tony Schiavone and the Big Show. That fanny pack got talked about a lot on that show. And this is Cal's second appearance on AEW TV here in 3-4 weeks.
Do you know, and this is a throw out to Cal as well, former senior intern at PWR where he got his start. But did you know while he was senior interning at PWR, he got to actually prove on Impact Wrestling that he was smarter, that Robbie E was not smarter than a fifth grader. So when Cal was a fifth grader, he was on Impact Wrestling.
Oh, I do remember that. I do remember seeing that clip. And, the good thing is at least Robbie E seems to have gained some sense over the years because he's wearing some pretty stylish fashions.
Well, he was basically doing a Jersey bro thing. A Jersey guy. But, apparently Cal was smarter than Robbie E as well. So
fantastic. Cal being put over on TV going years back now.
Yeah, and Cal's debut where he jumped in front of my camera shot and did the little Pinky DX thing. That's where it all started right there. But it was destiny is really what it was.
Of course.
Even though he did it then, and it upset me for that 10 seconds that it happened, it was destiny. That's the way it should be. So that has been PWR today. Matthew Thomas, tonight we do not have any AEW. Again, I believe it's the final week. We're going to have AEW Saturday night. It will be the main event. Kenny Omega, the KO that's still wrestling, not Kevin Owens, who decided he's going to take some time away. I saw the way you hassled Linda Kay on that one.
Kenny. Hey, it was worth a shot. That's the new unspecified double draft rule that I'm glad to bring to the rule book.
And we'll talk PWR draft in just a hot second here, but. Coming up tonight, there is no AEW. It's going to be Saturday night. Kenny Omega taking on the number one contender, Jungle Boy, for the AEW Heavyweight Championship. Real quick, Matthew Thomas, you didn't get your chance to speak your piece. You had a great night. You scored 140 points. Linda Kay also scored 140 points. But the man they call Meathead scored 180 points at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. The new total is brought to you by the Accounting for Dewey Cheetah and How. And by the way, at PWR Draft 2021, we had erroneously put out the wrong scores due to the accounting firm of Dewey Cheatham and Howe for getting 20 points for Linda. So we fixed that now, right? So I put that out there now that, the accounting firm was wrong. Here's the new totals. 815 for Meathead, 765 for Linda, and then way in the back, Matthew Thomas at 670.
Yes! 670.
670. That's last place, right?
Yes, indeed. Well, here's the thing. Things are working out just like I planned them. Coming out of Hell in a Cell, Matthew Thomas, Team Nelson Mandela, retaining all of their titles, keeping that hardware to go into the Money in the Bank. And, I think by what we saw on Raw on Monday night, my prediction on the very PWR draft show when I took RK Bro in the third round and I said I was picking RK Bro that was going to contain Matt Riddle, Matthew to watch of 2021, your Money in the Bank winner, That got one step closer on Monday night when Matt Riddle pinned Drew McIntyre, the guy who had a dominant title run for months, who led WWE through the pandemic, no fan era. When Matt Riddle pinned his shoulders to the ground, 1, 2, 3, and my friends, that is to condition you, the viewing audience, the viewing public, that is to condition you to accept him as a major player. So when he pulls that briefcase down, and what I hope is the first match of Money in the Bank, they kick off with the men's Money in the Bank, you get that fan favorite moment of Matt Riddle pulling that briefcase down that takes you back to Money in the Bank 2011, that pop that you got when Daniel Bryan won Money in the Bank. That's going to be your first match back. That's going to get everybody in that great mood to start the fan era once again. Matt Riddle, your 2021 Money in the Bank winner. Book it.
Next week on Raw, we will have that second chance or last chance triple threat. I believe it's McIntyre, Orton, and who is the other loser?
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles.
Team Nelson Mandela is in great shape. As long as it's not McIntyre, as long as it's Orton or AJ Styles, then Matthew's got somebody else in a specialty match. I think what's going to happen, man, I think you're going to get Orton. I think you're going to see that dynamic between him and Riddle in the actual match.
Probably. But, again, don't forget about SmackDown coming up on Friday night. Cesaro, Rollins. I mean, there's two guys right there that should be in the Money in the Bank match.
Oh, without a doubt. I'm curious to see what they do on the women's side of things potentially.
Well, they're apparently doing tag teams to get in 2 at a time. So
yeah. Maybe we'll see Bayley get in, another candidate for Team Nelson Mandela there.
All right. So follow us at PWR Draft 2021 on the Twitter machine to follow along with all the shenanigans for the PWR Draft season for 2021-2022. Again, Meathead leading, Linda not too far behind Matthew, thinking he has a chance. For Matthew Thomas, I'm the man they call Meathead. Hey, thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.